It's Gypsy Man, and today we're going to talk about the Staccato P. And you know what? I'm starting to like it a little bit more, and I'm shooting with it a lot better. But it's still not up to par when it comes to, or when you compare it to my Glock 34, which is my primary competition gun. But I'm gonna tell you what, I'm gonna be honest with you. After making the improvements, which I put a new trigger in here, a different size trigger. It's not a new trigger, but it's a different size trigger. I went to the range today, and mind you, I'm not 100% with this gun. I'm still learning this gun, but it's coming up. It's coming up. I'll admit it's coming up, but it's still not. It still doesn't even compare to my Glock 34. So today we're just gonna just have a quick table talk, and while I'm doing that, I'm gonna break this bad boy down so I can give it a deep cleaning, and then we're going to move on to another video, possibly talking about the probably another Glock. I don't know. So we'll get to it. But hey, I'm not gonna lie to you. This gun, I will say when you have to make the comparison of what shoots flatter, this compared to the Glock, I would say that it may, be flatter. It may shoot flatter, but I'm gonna tell you what, the way I have my Glock set up, it definitely shoots even more flatter than this gun in the state that it's in right now. And I don't plan on making any more changes to this gun. So, I mean, call it what you want, but I don't know. Like I said, I have to admit, it's starting to come up. It's starting to come up. I'm gonna say that, but it still doesn't want to see my Glock. But until we get to that point, we'll keep working with it, and we'll keep doing our test and tuning. I'm gonna call it that, test and tuning, and we're gonna keep fighting. We're gonna keep fighting. We're gonna keep shooting. But today, let me tell you, the experience today. Once I changed out the trigger I needed a larger trigger in the gun. I have red dirt triggers. Now I have triggers, so it's plural. I have red dirt triggers now, and I'm going to stay with red dirt, and they're very good. I can't tell you, anything less, that they're very good. They feel good, and I like the way they adjust. I like the way they make their adjustments with a screw, and you don't have to bend any tabs. So, I'm going to stick with them, and most all times I am brand loyal, so I'm gonna go with it, and it don't cost too much. It's very reasonable. Very reasonable. All right, so we are going to break this down real quick. And, I think it's important to break the guns all the way down, because I shot hundreds of rounds today. And, it's not a bad idea to just go in there and I hope you like my block, because that's all you need. You don't need to spend a bunch of money like I have on blocks unless you're building stuff. You can buy yourself a block that, is specifically made for the 2011. We could do that. But do you need it? I'm not a builder, so I really don't need it. And that came off pretty easy because we've already been through all of this with my gun. So it's not hard for me to take my guns apart. Not hard at all. So we're gonna break this down, but what I'm gonna do is stuff this in here. You don't have to do that, but just in case this trigger goes forward, you will, which it won't go forward because I took the spring out. You won't have to worry about it damaging anything. And I'm sure it's happened to many armors before. but luckily I haven't damaged anything on my gun. So it's pretty easy, but what I like to do is I'll go in here with this small screwdriver and I would just wedge it in there, just pop this safety off real quick and easy. Once you have some room, and it's gonna pop off pretty easily. You just put it in the position you need it, and it'll pop off. But you gotta wiggle it a little bit before, just to get a little bit of space, and then it'll pop out. But make sure you make sure you put something in between. See that? Make sure you put something in between when you do that. But I think it's important, you don't have to send your gun out to have it worked on by a smith to do the maintenance. You should be able to break your guns down like this, especially with the 2011, because to be honest with you, the 2011 platform, and you see me do plenty of Glocks on my channel, but the 2011 platform, there's nothing difficult about working on this gun, as you can see. And the trigger that I have now is the red dirt. This is the F4 for my finger. It's the F4. I had an F3 in there before. And basically it was a little too small for my finger. And I noticed that when I dry fired, using the gun, the dot as my barometer, basically, the gun will move a lot more, and you're supposed to have that straight back feeling in the trigger so that it won't, your shots will stay, going straight where you want them. But once I changed it out and got the bigger trigger, and I went to the range today, test fired, did my training, it's way better, I'm not gonna lie. I would say that it shoots flatter because I'm not making the trigger squirm as much as I was when my finger, instead of being like this when I pulled the trigger, it was probably further back like this. And that's what you don't want. You want it to be here so that you can just pull the trigger straight back. And I mean, I could take the grip off just to demonstrate how easy things are. Once you have things broken down, you can just pretty much go in there and just take things off. But I will be honest with you, when you have to put this thing back together, it will take a little bit longer to put it back together because you gotta get things into the correct positions, like the safety, for instance, even the sear. The sear can be a little difficult, especially the first time you do it, because the sear has to basically, go into the hole a certain way, and then you have to get the pin through. And once you get the pin through, then you're good to go. But basically, the way that I just took it apart, you got to do all that to change out this. And once you get this in there, you're going to set it and you're going to be done with it. You got to put it back halfway together. Make sure you got the feeling that you want, how much pre-travel you want in your gun, and you're finished and good to go. But basically, that's how you take it apart, and that's about how much time it's going to take. And you reassemble the way you disassembled it, making sure that you are paying attention to what you're doing, and you won't have any issues. So I'm going to put this together. It's going to take a few minutes longer, depending on how quickly you get the safety in and the sear in, to put it all back together. But that's basically breaking down to 2011. So if you can work on your Glocks, that's a great platform to start with. It'll give you the confidence to open up these guns, and then you can go into the 2011s, which is more intricate, but it's still just nuts and bolts. As long as it's nuts and bolts, it could be done. So I just wanted to make this quick video for you, tell you that I'm getting a lot more comfortable with the 2011 platform. So Gypsy Man, and I'm out.